Hey Micheal, welcome back to the channel, and for once I feel like one of the cool kids with this guy. It is the new Studio Series 86 Snarl. Most often, most likely, I'm going to be a few weeks, maybe a few months behind. Now and then I get something early first, but it's pretty rare here in Canada. But it's really rare that we get something that other folks are getting while they're getting it. Snarl is a rarity. But I'm happy that he's here, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey Micheal, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light him up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is Studio Series 86 Snarl, and boy, oh boy, again, the windowless packaging, that bugs me, but at least it's nice artwork. And I gotta say, dude is the happiest dude I think I've ever seen. Like, he looks like he is just living his dino life. But how good is the goodness inside? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Yes, indeed. So it's time for Studio Series 86 Snarl. He seems to be the hot kid on the block this past week or so, with him showing up early for a lot of people. He was slated for a later release, got pushed up. I'm not going to complain about it. We will, of course, see him compared to an earlier version, a different version of Snarl, a KO of a version of Snarl, actually. We're going to see him next to all of his Dinobot brethren and whatnot, but before we get to him, let's look at the packaging first. And we have packaging here, Snarl in all of his dino goodness. Up here, I think these are sweeps that he's doing battle against. Over here, just the happiest little dino boy that you could possibly imagine. Same over here. I feel like he looks so happy in that picture. On the back, of course, we have like the Battle of Autobot City will be the backdrop. And, you know, we can see both product images. The only shame, the only shame that I can point out is, man, oh man, look how nice all of the gold looks to be the same shade, same color. Sure wish that that was the case when it came to the actual plastic offering. And here we have instructions. They are fantastic instructions, actually. I actually used them to do the transformation, and you know what? It worked out really well. This was very easy. Our Dino Boy doesn't come with a blaster this time around. He comes with this nicely painted sword. Big sword. Nice. Silver. Unfortunately, it's soft, rubbery plastic. Real shame. Some people were happy that he came with a sword, not happy that he didn't come with a blaster. But if you remember the show, the way his blaster worked was basically he pointed his sword and shot from his sword. But to be fair, I do kind of sort of have an extra blaster. We're going to see if that works with him later on. And here we have our big Dino Boy. He is holding Sludge's blaster because I actually have an upgrade kit for Sludge that gives him a blaster and a sword. The blaster that Sludge now has is more like not what he had on the show. It's what the original G1 release came with, and I prefer that because I loved me a Sludge when I was a little lad, and I still love me a Sludge now. This works okay. It's a bit loose in his hand, bit of a bummer there, but not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. Ironically, the sword here, super tight in his hand. You could take it off and you could put it on the back. In package, this whole back piece, by the way, if I can lift it up, this whole back piece is detached in package, and you have to slot it in here, and then you just bring it up there, and like that's all that we need to do with it. For the sword, if you don't want it in his hand, as I said, you can always stick it in right there. That is your call, of course. Before we do the transformation or scores or any such thing as that, we're going to do a couple of comparisons first with his entire team. Just for funsies, I put the Black Mamba version of Slash Down Front, as well as the Age of Extinction Deluxe class, my custom Age of Extinction Deluxe class version of Scorn there as well, because, you know, why not? But naturally, they are not particularly intended to go with like our original team. But I just thought I'd throw them in there just so you can get an idea in comparison to, like, you know, a deluxe that's pretty well known. And I just like the Slash, honestly. Slash is a great mold. The upsized Black Mamba version of it, even better again. So, yeah, all four together. Yeah, man, this looks good. It looks good. The only thing that's slightly jarring to me, is not a deal breaker, but the only thing that is slightly jarring to me is the gold plastic, because everything that's gold on this guy's painted this gold. Same with Grimlock and same with Slag down at the end. But Snarl here, oh man, that's a little bit unfortunate. Here he is as well. That's right, here he is as well with none other than his Black Mamba KO upsized version of the Deluxe Power of the Primes version. So this was more in scale with Voyager. It's closer to a Voyager scale, really. So you can see just how big this guy is next to, in essence, a Voyager. This guy had all kind of silver in here, so I painted some of it gold. Some of it has worn off. You know, I really should have touched it up, to be honest with you. His arms were always somewhat stylized, what with the gold here and the black here. But it wasn't hateful by any stretch of the imagination. This is a pretty darn good Snarl. But to say that it's as good as the new lad would just simply not be true. The new lad, starting from the feet and going up and taking this guy out of it. I mean, we have gold on the feet, right? We have gold on the feet. We have gray and gold on the legs. I don't think he's necessarily supposed to have these 3 dots, but I'm okay with it. We have the red body, the black on the torso here, the Autobot symbol, the silver down here with the detailing on it, the full gray arms with the black fists. I mean, the head is like the perfect head, the red body, if I didn't already say, the gold tail pieces coming out. Man, oh man, if only all of the gold was the same shade. That's the only real thing. And I suppose this slight stylization down here, 9.75. 9.75. The only other thing that I want to note that I haven't really seen anybody else really talk about is the space here at the torso and the hip. And I find it a little jarring that you can just see behind it because there's nothing behind here to kind of fill it in, I suppose. But I don't mind it so much because I realize why it's done. It's done for articulation because, as you can see here, getting this up out of the way, there's like no space there. So if we want a full range on the hips, we have to have a little bit of a gap there. I think it's acceptable, honestly, and I don't think that there's really a way they could have worked around it to maintain all of the articulation on the hips with the hip skirt moving with it, in essence. I mean, the only other option would have been like a solid hip skirt piece, a la, for example, Studio Series 86 Ironhide. I prefer this over that. Thank you very much. And it's as solid gets, so I'm okay with it there too. What about the articulation? I mean, we're doing a 9.75 for the look. The articulation is pretty great. Left, right for the head, little bit up, little bit down, more of a wiggle though than anything. The arms, as you saw, can go all the way out to the side. They can go all the way around. Well, they could if you had the tail out of the way, right? The capability is there to go all the way around. The elbow, bicep swivel, super deep elbow, wrist rotation. We have a waist that's free-flowing all the way around, by the way. The hips, they can go out to the side, nice, solid. They can go back all the way and forward all the way, thanks to that little cut. We have a thigh swivel. We have knee to 90 degrees for sure. And we have an ankle tilt, but now the feet are in 2 pieces, so I find the best thing to do is take it from the back and move it that way so it moves as 1 piece. I find if I move just the front, I tend to move half the foot. Toe tilt down. I mean, maybe articulated fingers, but like that would be about it, man. Maybe articulated fingers. I'm gonna give it, again, a 9.75. 9.75, man, 9.75. Let's do the transformation. Why not? Keep in mind that we don't have the sword on him right now as we go through here. Okay, so we're going to pick this all off, and we're going to push the head down to the body and pick that up, and we're going to close these tail pieces in behind. And we're just going to bring that down around for now. Because the torso is super easy. The torso is easy, the legs are fairly easy. The most interesting thing is the arms, but also frustrating. So, the arms. We are going to turn the hand around for now, and turn the hand around for now. These paws, I suppose we'll call them dino legs, whatever, they need to come out. They're supposed to, by rights, be pushed in even further than this, and they can be pushed in further than that. But I find if I do that all the way in the arm, then when I try to get these legs back out, either I pull this foot off, or I need to get something to really kind of wedge this whole piece out, and I'd really rather not do that. So we do that, and we turn a foot around. I think that this is deep enough into the arm. I suppose you could potentially loosen this screw, but I really don't want to loosen his elbows or his arms. I like that they're good and solid and tight. So I just close them up and have like half the circle still visible here, because it lets me then get my finger behind it to wedge it out. Turn this around. Fold in. Did I have to fold the hands around? Thought I did. Sure I did. Yeah. So we take that and we make sure we have it all the way out, and then we fold this in, and you can even bring this back up then. So over on this side, make sure we have it all the way out. We're going to fold this in, and for now, we're just going to bring it back out there just a little bit. Okay. Now comes the interesting part where we kind of fold the entire arm up, and I love this. It's so simple but so effective. So we take the whole thing now, and you have to really just listen to the arm here. You hear it click in, you need to unclick it. You're going to bring it forward, and when you do, you're going to bring it all the way up, and it will click back in, and then this tab here will go into the shoulder in essence, or it should. Yeah, there we go. So now we have an entire, I think it's rear leg. Let me show it again here on the other side real quickly. We untab basically the arm. We bring the whole thing, or we should be able to bring the whole thing forward. Why are you not coming all the way forward? And then this should be able to go up there. Yeah, there we go. So now I have both of the like rear legs basically done on the guy. We're going to go down now to the lower body and kind of sort of deal with that next. To do the lower body, things get kind of interesting here actually. So we're going to pick off the chest. We're going to snap that whole piece down. I don't think I got this one over here. Thought I did for a second. Let me get this solidified and then we'll pick it up again. Okay, I just had to fiddle and finagle it for a second. Nothing major, nothing worth talking about. Let's bring these back so that we have a better idea of kind of having ourselves oriented. Okay, so down here we're going to flip the toes in, and we're going to flip all of this out, flip that leg down, and flip all of this out to the end. I like to bring these back up for now, just so they're sort of kind of out of the way. And you can see, man, we got a lot going on here in the leg. In this case, the entire leg did not open out. So, we come here and we fold this up, and then that whole piece should be able to come out. And when it comes out, the whole thing comes down and really solidifies in there. And we could even straighten out a foot. As you can see right now, this is upside down. So, before we do the other leg, why don't we turn the guy at the waist And we're going to extend the waist because we'll need that done in a little bit anyway. We're also going to lift up this piece here so we have like a gap in his tummy. Then we come over here, we bring up this leg, we bring it all the way out to the side, we straighten the foot down. Okay. We also can close these up. Now, in essence, all we're doing is going to be folding up the leg to get it in over. Now, here's where things are interesting because a lot of people don't notice this or know this. The knee is actually tabbed in. So as you bring this up over, you're going to end up getting to a point where you have to untab the knee right here out of this gold. It's a bit of a, I don't want to say it's a nuisance because it's not, but there you go. Pull it off and same thing here. Pull it off. There you go. Actually, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Sometimes they get kind of stuck there, but you need to have those out because that's how our head is going to come out, right? So we're going to fold this up and over, and the toe fits underneath the body there. We're going to bring out half a head. I'll even open the mouth. Why not? Bring this leg down. And then this can fold up. Oh. This can fold up underneath. There's half of a body done. Let's do the same thing over here. So we're going to fold this up, get that out of the way. We're going to bring this all down and around. We're going to bring out that head, and we're going to bring this down here, and it too should go under the body. Close that up. And down here, again, we close this in. We should be able to snap both of those together. Bring this down, snap these two legs up here together. Press them in. The two head pieces, they should go together. And we push the body in a little bit. Once we've got all of that done, we can take our legs and bring it up here on the side, and our leg and bring it up here on the side, and boom, in essence, here we have Snarl in his robot mode. Okay, and here we are, a little fit and finish at the very end. On the top of the toe, or yeah, on the top of the feet, there are two little rectangular slots. So we come here after we push all of this in, and we push that down, and it really locks the back of this into that. I forgot to show that before I said boom. I got a little ahead of myself. Love it. Love the transformation. Very elegant, very easy. I'm giving that a 10. I think it's fantastic. Everything moves like it should. Everything is smooth as butter. No concerns about anything breaking. Everything feels sturdy, secure, good materials. I like it. I mean, I'm impressed with the guy, I gotta say. So we had a 9.75 for the look, a 9.75 for the articulation. Maybe it was a 9.5. Maybe I'm in a good mood and saying 9.75. And a 10 for the transformation. I mean, other than the mismatch of this, and this, the guy's great. Now, I will note that I did have to do something. First, I guess before I note that, I'll mention that you can, again, put the sword up here in this hole if you want to do that. Or, if you're so inclined, there's actually two little rectangular slots there, and they go over little rectangular tabs really down right here. There we go. If I can get it on here now. Like that. So it's under his body. I'll also note now that by rights, after you have all of this done, you really should make sure that both of these sections again are plugged into the top of his head. And you'll notice, possibly, if you have yours, that the top of my head looks a little different than most people's. So my Autobot symbol was badly misaligned. The two halves did not come close to matching up, so I removed them with some rubbing alcohol, and I took this Autobot symbol and I put it on and used a penknife to cut it in half. I think that it fills the bill, at least. As imperfect as this is, at least it lines up, right? And that was more important to me than, I guess, leaving the malfunctioning, malaligned Autobot symbol on him. Love this. Love this. Big fan of this, honestly. Move that like that. The articulation in this mode, fairly nil, to be honest with you. I mean, these can go back, and can they go out to the side? Not really. They can go back. We do have, I guess, a bit of a knee. We do have an ankle on the front here, forward and back. Again, a bit of a knee, and that's it. The mouth can open and close, which is cool, but because the head is two halves, there's really no articulation for the head, which is a little bit of a bummer. Not a big deal breaker, but a little bit of a bummer. Smitten with this guy, honestly. Here he is next to... I mean, come on. For the most part, it looks like they jumped off the screen. Sure. Grimlock could use more articulation on his little T-Rex arms. Sure. The tail of Sludge could be a little bit longer. Sure, the gold on the head and the legs of Snarl could match a bit better. And sure, the overall transformation of this guy, as brilliant as it is, could be a little easier. A lot of people talk about breakage of the frills. Not sure how that happens. But, you know, I know it's a thing that people have encountered. I mean, to me though, despite those very minor imperfections, since Grimlock, this has been a winning line. But we're starting to see a few cracks. I'm glad that Swoop will be the last one, because compared to the other three, this guy doesn't come with a Wheelie or a Daniel. Not that they were great. This guy has a little less paint because he doesn't have the gold covering all of his gold. And this guy, compared to the others, which generally clock in at somewhere around 328 to 330 grams of plastic, he is 317 grams of plastic. So we've lost a bit of mass already. We've lost an accessory with Wheelie or Daniel, whether you like that accessory or not. Although in Sludge, we lost the accessory, but the mass got rolled into the main body, so we still had the same mass. So we've lost some mass, we've lost some paint on Snarl. I feel like Swoop is going to be the smallest. I feel like he's going to potentially be a Voyager, being passed off and sold as a leader. But to complete this set, looking as fantastic as they do, I think it's probably the best way to go. As it is, this guy is about a 9.75. Little bit more paint is about all he really needed. I don't even mind that he gave up some of the mass, because the engineering here is pretty spectacular, with little to no hollowness other than the bottom of the back feet, and that's about it. So, you know, he does have a lot of the bells and whistles. The only gripe here is, man, could have used a little more gold paint. Nevertheless, just look at this. Who doesn't want a Swoop right here flying along with the lads? Come on, give us that last Dinobot. And here we are, and here he is, and I felt it was more appropriate to leave him in Dino mode to kind of do my final thoughts here, so to speak, or my wrap-up, whatever you want to call it. In robot mode, he is splendid. He really is. He encapsulates the character so very well, and he scored well because of it, and he looks nice in robot mode with the other Dinobots. Then we get to this mode, which I do like, though I will say I wish we had a little bit more of an angle here of this not going down so straight, but being angled out slightly. And I wish that my Autobot logo on the top here had been lined up nicely. I've seen somewhere they are lined up nicely. I had to put a sticker on there, such is life. What are you going to do? Minor gripe. I really wish that this gold, and the gold on the head was painted. I really find it jarring. I'm assuming it wasn't as either a cost-cutting measure or because they were afraid it was going to scrape because of like how the head goes into the legs, for example, and whatnot. I really don't know what the motivation was for leaving it unpainted, but I do personally find it in Dino mode a little jarring. Does the Dino mode look good? Yes. I think the strength is the robot mode. I think the Dino mode is acceptable, but not quite as perfect as the previous 3 Dino modes that we've gotten. That said, when you see all of them together, yeah, they do look like they belong. The aesthetic does still hold true. This guy is absolutely, positively splendid. And I'll say this, while I feel like we've lost a little bit of mass, while I feel like we've lost a little bit of paint, and I certainly hope that Swoop stays true to the aesthetic that's established with the quality that we've already established, I can still say that even with those couple of minor gripes, this guy is splendid. Worth every penny. Really, really, really impressive. The engineering is great. It's intuitive but involved and interesting. What with the chest elongating and extending, the whole way that the legs unfurl to give you these outer legs and the two halves of the head. I do wish that the head was one piece, but I liked the way that they, I guess, handled it. Right up to the subtlety of the chest piece flipping up for the toes to go in under in Dino mode. He is absolutely splendid. I don't think that I'd be happy if we lost more paint or lost more mass, but as it is, worth every penny. Another splendid entry in the 86 Dinobots line. Come on, Swoop, where are you to, buddy? Let me know what you think about Snarl. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know, man, how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Please hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and especially don't forget that somehow, man, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.